Hello, everyone. Well, I'll tell you, these federal judges are obstructing justice. Okay, I think everybody knows about the Alien Enemies Act. Okay, President Trump on Saturday invoked the Alien Enemies Act for the first time since World War II, granting himself sweeping powers under a centuries old law to deport people associated with the Venezuela gang. Hours later, a federal judge halted deportations under Trump's orders. I'll tell you, it's like this is getting pathetic. The Constitution gives Trump the authority to do things under executive powers. If I was Pam Bondi, okay, I'm not an attorney or anything. If I was Pam Bondi, I would file, I would indict the federal judge Brosberg for obstruction because that's basically what is happening in this country. Let me get back to let's see here. Don't want to mispronounce the guy's name right. Yeah, Brosberg is basically obstructing justice. ICE has the authority to deport these people. These federal judges have lost their minds. Well, it's not that they lost their minds, it's their liberal agenda. Um, Basically, the judges are trying to regulate everything the Constitution allows the president to do with executive action. I think Tom Homan ought to arrest the judge for obstructing justice. You know, the fact that Homeland Security has the authority to deport these people, a judge issuing an order to prevent deportation, the judge is obstructing justice. That's what I would do. I think all the mayors and governors of these woke cities ought to be indicted for obstruction of justice. Anyone watching the show, tell me what you think in chat. I don't know where these judges come off thinking that every illegal alien have rights under the U.S. Constitution. Only U.S. citizens have rights under the Constitution. Everybody in the world doesn't have a right to come to this country. Let's see here. During a fact-finding hearing on Monday evening, repeatedly asked the government attorney for answers, the judge, Brosberg, about what the administration did to comply with the order. He summarized the government's position as, "We don't care, we'll do what we want." He then said he would issue a written order requiring the government to answer certain questions, since apparently my oral orders don't appear to carry much weight. American Civil Liberties Union attorney Lee Gellern said the hearing before Brosberg on Monday that courts make difficult, polarizing decisions all the time. What changes here? What the difference is here is the government's apparent refusal to abide by a federal court's power. He said, our country is based on the assumption that there are three equal branches, and the federal court will say what the law is. And the other two branches will adhere to these two rulings. Well, if you read the Jefferson papers, the founding forefathers of this country were very concerned over the judicial authority basically legislating. That's what they're doing. Legal fights over immigration have put a fine point on Trump's recalcitrance when it comes to being constrained by existing laws and norms. It is a fertile political ground for him because polling shows most Americans embrace his promises to stop illegal border crossings and deport millions of people already in this country without proper status. A majority of registered voters, 55%, approve of Trump's handling of border security and immigration. This is according to an NBC News poll, while 43% disapprove. It was Trump's strongest issue of five tested in the poll, and his lieutenants appear to have little regard for the courts as they pursue these goals. This, you know what? I'm reading you the NBC story because, okay, look at it like this. The judges basically ignore the rights of the executive authority, just like the other things that have been blocked. Trump, being our president, has the authority to fire and hire whoever he wants. Just like, what if the court would rule that if Trump is a haywire dragon, high trying hard, let's say Trump orders a military strike against Iran's proxies, the Houthi rebels. Does the judge have the authority to say you have to turn those planes back? What if we are attacked by a foreign power? and Trump tries to defend our homeland. What if the judge says, "Oh, you can't defend the homeland"? What is Trump supposed to do? Since you guys probably joined a little late, I think Pam Bondi ought to indict this judge for obstruction of the law. I think our borders are Tom Homan, who is my age, by the way. He had to start arresting these people. It's obstruction of justice. I mean, how far is this going to go in this country? If the Supreme Court, I know people on the left, they're saying if the Supreme Court doesn't hear this, they think there's going to be a civil war. All I can say is, if there's a civil war, people on Trump's side are better armed and have more experience than the people on the left. These mamby-pamby men. You know what I did this evening? I made comments on some of these liberal channels. They're calling Trump a fascist. Okay, look at it like this. If you look up the definition of fascism, what Hitler did was fascism. Hitler took control of all manufacturing basically in Germany. What did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did? They used the Green New Deal to push mandates on the car on the automotive industry. That's fascism. But I'll tell you, things are going to escalate. I predicted before. I think we're going to see Matt Gaetz possibly be a special counsel. I was looking at the boards today. I think we're going to see stuff happening at the beginning of April. Hopefully, it is just getting out of hand. We elected Trump to be president, and now I see other channels that are saying Elon Musk rigged the election. They're full of it. Why are they? Look at it like this. Okay, all of us pay taxes. If our tax dollars are being basically embezzled by certain politicians, from what I've been researching, it looks like the politicians are having the money go to an organization that their wife runs. Then the money's going to offshore accounts and being kicked back to some of the family members, sons and daughters. It's going to take, I think, 8 or 12 years just to clean part of this mess up. Yeah, I know it's national security trying hard. That's my whole point. If a federal judge starts blocking a military operation, yeah, I'm with Trump completely and Tom Homan. If this gets to the U.S. Supreme Court, I just hope that the U.S. Supreme Court does the right thing. I happen to think that I saw on Fox News that Amy Coney Barrett's sister was threatened. I think some of these U.S. Supreme Court judges that are on our side are afraid to rule because they're afraid of what could happen to their family members. It is just getting pathetic in this country. Another thing, I've been watching some. I can't believe all the woke ministers. Hey, Mike Jones, I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, millionaire politicians in Congress made it the billionaires, exposing their trillion-dollar thievery. Yeah, you look at how rich some of these people are. Yeah, okay, I think they ought to pass a federal law that if an elected official, like let's say a U.S. senator, is questioning someone, they had to be sworn in to tell the truth. Hi, Regina S. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have sworn they've never taken money from the pharmaceutical companies or oil companies. Well, I've read this stuff on the internet. Hey, Stiff Richard, they have taken the money. These people are just lying through their teeth. And I've made comments on Adam Schiff's channel, and they keep deleting it. Things like, what did you do at Epstein Island? I've asked Adam Schiff's channel, do you think Pam Bondi is going to indict you? What do? They delete the comments. Then I see one guy, he's predicting the date of the rapture for the past several years on YouTube. The people that follow these people, they're just completely woke. The new thing is, okay, the Department of Education needs to be gone. The Department of Education, you figure we rank 40th in the world for testing in schools. When I was in elementary school and high school, the U.S. was always up there. The Department of Education, they're more concerned when it comes to telling kids you may have been born the wrong gender than giving these kids an education. Everything is, oh, God made a mistake and you were born the wrong gender. It is just pathetic. Hey, thanks, trying hard. What channel have I seen you on before? Because I've been over on 101's channel. Actually, 101, his new channel is called The Second Dawn. I feel bad that so many of his channels have been taken down. I remember back when I met a lot of people on YouTube, it got to the point where on 101's channel, that the chat had to be slowed down to one comment per minute by each viewer. He's picking up steam. I've been over there to help him a lot. And Bushcraft family's been nice enough to have me and Eric on the show occasionally. And because of my wife, she uses the computer between like 8 o'clock and 9. I can't watch Bushcraft show tonight, but he knows that. I hope everybody in chat that's in my part of the country was okay with the storm. We're still in a drought in my area. We had a little over an inch of rain and we need it. And people that know what I do for a living, I'm a Christmas tree grower. This was the worst year we ever had with crop damage. Deer have gone up the trees like 6 foot tall. You want to come on, Steph Richard? Okay, I'll drop the link in chat. Let's see, I'll put it in. You know what? I got to find YouTube to put this in YouTube. Oh, I was able to do it with StreamYard. Actually, I was trying to do this on YouTube, and I won't show my face on the camera. Oh, okay. Listen. Let me find it real quick. I'm gonna have to open a different window. Actually, it's gonna take a minute. This 10-year-old computer is kind of slow. Yeah, on the Second Dawn, there's a lot. I'll tell you, a lot of people that all of us know. We all met on Prepping 101's channel because certain people got jealous of him and reported him. His channel got taken down. Let's see here. Okay, Stiff Richard, that's Prepping 101's channel. It's called The Second Dawn. And I'll show you guys another channel I've been on. There might even be another channel I like that the guy might have me on, because I do like to talk about the stock market. I'm going to put Bushcraft's channel and chat so everybody can see it. Hi, Sharon Mercer. Let's see. There's another guy I know of. I don't know his real name. He's called the Ace Report. He delves in the stock market. He's a young guy in his 40s, but he's gotten to do more in the way of live streams with news. You guys got to check him out. Some of his shows are members only. It's like he gives stock market advice to people that don't know what they're doing. And I've been doing this so long, I don't really need stock market advice from anyone. I got a question, Steph Richard. Are you on the East Coast or West Coast? Because I noticed the thing over the years, like there's people, if I do a live stream, there's people that'll watch it because they're on the East Coast. Like some people on the West Coast, you figure they're eating dinner that time of night and whatever. Whoa, Oklahoma. Tell you, I've had it with the weather this winter. Okay, I haven't been able to lift weights right for about 3 weeks. The basement has been so cold in January and February. I really sprained my deltoid bad and it's swollen. And I hate taking ibuprofen. Excuse me. It doesn't hurt to do work outside too bad. But like I think I've been overdoing it with bench pressing. And friends of mine have been telling me since I was 40, you got to stop lifting heavy weights. I'm hoping in a week it feels a little better and I'll get back to lifting. Because if I didn't work out the way I do right, the way I've done for decades, I won't be able to get all this physical work done outside. Because, hey, I turned 64 not too long ago, and I've been lifting weights for 51 years now. Can you believe that? Well, I think I pretty much said I was hoping a few other people might show up, because they would, I'd like to come up and talk to me, but they haven't showed up yet. So I just want to let everybody know what I think ought to be done. Um, you figure Trump's between a rock and a hard place. Shout out for Tom Homan telling the federal court judge, they don't care. This is just getting out of hand in this country. Actually, when I hear something trying hard, my wife just ordered kettlebells. She's 60 years old and she works out. She's in better. She weighs less than when we got married by a few pounds. She gets up in the morning and works out. Starts at 3 a.m. Believe it or not, because she has to leave to go to work at 6. She won't go down the basement because she doesn't like it. In the back corner over there, she has all her weight. She even has 20-pound dumbbells. Walmart had a sale and she's getting buy one get one on 35-pound kettlebells. She's going to hold those to do her squats with. Okay, what's wild lettuce? And Steph, I've never seen you on a live stream. I I don't know what methylene blue is either. I feel bad that you were banned on that other channel, and I have nothing to do with that. But has anybody seen what's ever happened to Jeff B? I haven't seen him in over a year. Hey, it's a shame the things that have gone on. Almost everybody I've met on YouTube all got their start from being on Prepping 101's panel. There are people before Shane Phelps even passed away. There were women that had their own channels, and all of a sudden they just stopped doing it. And the same nonsense that's been going on for the past couple of years, it continues to go on. My whole thing with some people is, if you don't like what goes on, don't participate there. But then I'm probably as guilty as other people, because I mean, I can't believe, like I said earlier, I can't believe the number of woke ministers. There's a woke minister from another country criticizing how they gave the transgender member of Congress, they use the improper pronoun. This is ridiculous. We're born men and women. Okay, he and Trainwreck Travis are back at Liberty Warrior Nation channel again. Is that a new channel, Stiff Richard, or is that channel on Rumble or YouTube? I'm glad I have the chat up for this to keep track to, so I can look it up. Because Liberty Warrior, well, I don't know. No, not Bear Truth. I was just talking. I was talking to Bear Truth on 101 show. Jeff B. That's the guy. Remember, Jeff B was on 101's channel a lot, and 20. I guess it was 2021, talking about inside knowledge of when Joe Biden was going to be arrested by the military. No, Bear Truth is a different Jeff. Yeah, because I guess it was, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Friday and Saturday night, I was talking to Jeff on 101's channel. Hey, but like I said before, check out Prepping 101 on the Second Dawn channel. The thing is, well, if somebody has a live on YouTube, there's so many lives going on. Now, trying hard, who he's speaking about as being a liberal. Bear Truth is really conservative. Jeff B, I thought was conservative. Hey, Larry Schulte. Jeff B, I thought was conservative, but then, I don't know, he started giving me an impression. It could have been jokingly. I don't know if Jeff B is liberal or conservative. All I know is he predicted a lot of stuff that didn't come true. From other people I know, he's a really nice guy, though. He takes care of his elderly mom. Figure somebody takes care of their elderly mom, they have to be a good person. Look at it like this: there's people out there. We know people who they have children, and they don't hear from their kids hardly ever, which is so sad. Like our son, We hear from him every day. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Steph Richard. The thing is, since I started watching these live streams in 2020, the thing I've noticed is there's people that are starving for attention. They come and go. They'll go on a channel and they'll say they have inside knowledge about all this stuff, and then it doesn't happen. Like, I'm into all kinds of stuff. I have people that watch my channel because I have knowledge about audio engineering and loudspeaker design. And other people watch the channel because I sometimes I put videos out there of the tree farm, problems with the trees, the drought we still have. You know, it's like some channels is just one thing. I think it's good to diversify. Hey, wildlife. Hey, you want to come up for a little wildlife? Okay, I don't remember Rhino Nation. How about I drop the link in here for wildlife? Hey, last night, what 101 went live. You didn't have anybody in the panel. I'm kind of glad because I told him I had to get a shower. Some people probably wonder why I get a shower so late because if I would shoot a deer out here, I don't want to have to get a second shower. Yeah, I haven't seen Frog in a while since I haven't been doing any kind of shows with Craig. Then I don't know if it's true. Somebody told me that Frog isn't who we think he is. Somebody that's on other channels might be also be Frog, and they have Frog and the Frog person just to like stir up chat. And if you ask me, that's kind of ridiculous. That'd be like me having two YouTube IDs and trying to have a person in chat just so I can throw them out just to get attention. Yeah, I never heard of Rhino Nation. I'm trying to think. Travis, God, that Travis, I remember him on Liberty Warrior. Then he did a few live streams. Then the whole thing about Jeff B being shot. I don't even, I mean, this is my opinion. I don't think Jeff B was even really shot. Yeah, that's you're right about that wildlife. Hey, if anybody doesn't know wildlife, this guy is full of. This guy is amazing. He remembers dates in history. Anytime he's on 101's channel or on Bushcraft's channel, he comes up with something. He's got a good mind for history. Now, wildlife, is there anything that, oh, really, Rhino Pass? Is there anything that happened today in history? Like anything real historic that happened in U.S. history on this date? Oh, and I don't think you mind me telling us, Wildlife's the little sister got married. And Wildlife had a talk with her husband to be, so he's going to stay in line, hopefully. That's what I thought, Stiff Richard. Why would they make that whole thing up about Jeff being shot if he wasn't shot? Then you look at it like this. There's people out there so starved for attention. Somebody could say somebody died just so, and then get off of YouTube, just hoping like people forgot about him. I mean, that's the sad reality. You're right, Bella Vanilla. He's got a good memory. Let's see if I remember how to put this. Okay, in 461 AD, St. Patrick, Christian missionary, bishop, and apostle of Ireland, dies at Saltdownpatrick, Ireland. Today, he is honored with the annual holiday of St. Patrick's Day. You figure the Irish people were really through a lot. And you figure, yeah, he's on Bonnie's a lot. I like going on Bonnie's channel, but I said before, there's a woman there that trolls me, and I don't know why. And I try not to go on Bonnie's channel on the panel if a certain woman is there because it just disrupts the whole thing. And Bonnie is a really nice person. Like when you think of what the Irish people were through, you figure the whole reason they called, called it a paddy wagon is because it was a put down on the Irish because they were mostly Irish people that got arrested, in parts of New York City back in the day. My dog is over here sleeping in her cage. The door's open and she's shaking the whole cage. Well, if anybody wants to come up, I think I'm running out of stuff to say. I do better when I'm on people's panels because, okay, having another person up here helps like give me more ideas of what to talk about. Okay, here's another good one. What Life came up with. Today in 1776, British forces are forced to evacuate Boston following General George Washington's successful placement of fortifications and cannons on Dorchester Heights. It's really sad. Hey, Lisa Parker, what's really sad is look how liberal Massachusetts has become. Okay, the way things are in the world now, if this was the okay, Cleveland Cliffs is going up and down. Okay, the stock market, I've been telling people, I think we're going to see all-time highs in the fall. Almost everything I have, I'd say almost half of what I have is in NVIDIA. My stuff is down about 12 or 14%. I think the longer the tariffs stay in place, well, look at it like this. Cleveland Cliffs is the second largest steel company in the United States. I think by fall, that stock's going to go up a lot. One reason I recommended it is because of the steel tariffs. And if you look at the price, Cleveland Cliffs is only half of what it used to be at its all-time high. And I'll tell you, the stocks there, look how Apple went down today. Amazon is down. Besides Apple being down, the only stocks I see, it's like this, because it was so low, I decided to buy some SCMI, or it's SMCI, Super Micron Computer. And hey, another stock I found about that Congress is buying is IMP INJ. That stock is down to less than $100, and its all-time high was in the low 200s. Another stock that people are saying might go up is called Zim. It's a worldwide shipping company out of Israel. Look at it like this. If you have stocks that are doing well, even everything is basically down. Even if you have stocks that are doing well, you're going to sell a good stock to risk on a stock that's not doing well. People were predicting, what kind of dog I have trying hard? She's a rescue dog. She's a Carolina dog, German Shepherd mix. She's about 10 years old now. Yeah, I think with everything Trump's doing, November is usually the best month of the stock market. If somebody looks at this stuff, historically, every year the stock market's had a 10% correction, and October has been the worst month. And one reason why November is a good month is because when October is the worst month, things can only go up. I still think by November, the stock market's going to be close to all-time highs again. And Stiff Richard, one reason why I mentioned Cleveland Cliffs is it's a cheap stock, being a $10 stock. So a lot of people were saying 2 years ago, buy Intuitive Design. Intuitive Design launched a lunar module that, it landed on the moon in 2000, I think it was 23. And then they found the thing toppled over on its site. Then the stock went down. And the same thing happened this year. I look at it like this. If you have a stock and it's not doing well, I'd give it 2 years before you sell it, because you can make out with the loss on your taxes. Yeah, the thing is, look at it like this. Look at NVIDIA was up to 150 and it's down close to maybe 120. NVIDIA is going to come out with a new chip sometime before the end of the year, and I think we're going to see NVIDIA possibly get up to its all-time high. And you figure, look at it like this. I don't want to buy stocks in woke companies because I have morals. Yeah, there's a lot of pharmaceutical stocks that are using AI. One company that was predicted to boom was called Phio Pharmaceuticals, and I spent a little over $100 on it. You know what happened? Something they came out with wasn't approved by the FDA, and the stock never recovered. Okay, thanks, Wildlife. Today, in 1894, the United States and China signed a treaty that prohibited the entry of Chinese laborers in the United States, building the existing Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. You figure what this country did, a lot of the stuff was racist. The Democrats controlled the House and the Senate. I remember being taught in history class in high school, they passed a law that made it illegal to use a Chinese fishing net that they designed because it was catching more fish than the kind of nets Americans used. That was before our time, but today in 1905, Albert Einstein finishes a scientific paper detailing his quantum theory of light, a foundation of modern physics. Yeah, I remember reading all about that stuff a long time ago in physics class. I like physics class, but I was better with the theory than doing the math. Yeah, Gill nets. I couldn't remember the name of that. I tell you, times have changed. I remember when I was in high school in the 70s, some of these teachers, they taught you the factual history. If anybody's watched the Jesse Waters show, that guy Johnny Man on the street, he could ask 10 people, what countries were in the American Revolution? Which countries were in the French Indian War? Which countries were, in World War II? Maybe 1 out of 10 people get this. What are kids learning in high school now? What are kids learning in college? One thing, okay, you're right. Steel is fixing the boom stiff, Richard. The thing I like to do is watch a stock for about a month and see how it's going. You don't want to buy it when it's falling. It's like catching a knife. But when you think it bottoms out, do some research and try to get it at the lowest price. You figure a lot of the stock market, you figure the economy, we are feeling the effects of the Biden economy. You figure unemployment was way higher when Joe was president because he hired 1 million people to keep unemployment down to work for the federal government. You figure my state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, they need a Doge. I think 17%, or I think it's something like 12.5 or 17% of the people in New Jersey are state employees. That's actually ridiculous. Why do they need so many employees? And I got my tax return done early thanks to my accountant, George. His name is George Bancroft. And he was saying, like, the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, they are using this new system. And he said, you call somebody on the phone, you can't get anybody. Even if you have the number that CPAs only have access to, it's not on the internet. He said, you're getting somebody from their home. I think it's called, because I have to deal with sales tax, it's called MyPath. He says the MyPath thing doesn't work right, and I've had problems with it too. Well, I thought I did my tax return for the state sales tax in January from the December tree business, and it didn't go through, and then I had to redo it. It is just ridiculous. Actually, I preferred the days when you could do a return on a piece of paper. Then they had the state sales tax in Pennsylvania, so you could do it over the phone. And you had to give them all, it was slower. You had to plug all the stuff in. But at least when you did it over the phone, okay, that was it. You got a code and you were done. Now when you do it online, you're not even sure if the thing was done or not. Okay, another interesting fact from Wildlife. Today in 1958, the U.S. Navy launched Vanguard 1, the second U.S. satellite, into orbit, which provided data that revealed Earth's shape was slightly pear-shaped. Now, I don't have Amish heritage trying hard. Actually, not exactly. My area, I'm in Skippack Township, Pennsylvania. This area used to be primarily Pennsylvania Dutch. I'll tell you a story. the Amish are mainly in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, not Harrisburg, Reading, Pennsylvania. My son, not Reading, excuse me, Lancaster. There, there are some Amish outside of the Reading area, and even some in the Lehigh Valley. That's mainly all Mennonite, though. You figure the Mennonites and the Amish are all Pennsylvania Dutch. They had their quarrels too, basically. If you go up into Elverson, PA, where we got our one German Shepherd from Miss Heidi Sanderson, there are Mennonite people there that look like Amish. They make their own clothing. The women have their heads covered. They wear long dresses. They go to bed at dark, okay, even in the winter, but they have electricity. And they use modern farm machinery. Okay, I didn't know there were many Mennonites down in Georgia. That's an interesting wildlife. And I know out towards Erie, Pennsylvania, which is northwest PA, there's an Amish community. And where Bushcraft lives, there's Amish in Ohio. Because I haven't talked to these people since I was about, God, like 30 years ago. My father's side of the family has some relatives in Ohio. Their last name is Baker. I should have gotten a glass of water. I'm getting thirsty. I'll tell you, my family, on my father's side of the family, the Boswell family came here from England. And actually, I don't know if it's true, the Boswell's background is German, French, and even they say Gypsy. And the thing is, all of us came from somewhere. You figure people don't realize the Gypsies came from northern India. The people in this country are unaware of the fact that people in northern India don't have the dark skin. Northern India has people that have blonde hair and blue eyes. They're considered Nordic, though. Actually, a lot of Nordic people came from northern India and then went into Europe. And my mother's side of the family is mostly, well, not mostly, I'd say it's about half Irish. So I'm basically a mutt. Because of my paternal grandmother's side of the family, her maiden name was Young, Jung. They came here from Germany. And people don't realize, you take areas of central Pennsylvania, a lot of that wasn't settled till the late 1800s. Patton, Pennsylvania, where my grandmother grew up, that used to be the brick capital of the country. The bricks built in a lot of the New York City buildings came from Patton, Pennsylvania, because it had a lot of kaolinite in the clay. Let's see. Yeah, today in 1960, Dwight D. Eisenhower authorized the CIA to train and support Cuban exiles, forming an anti-Castro army. Yeah, well, they weren't too successful in the Bay of Pigs invasion, unfortunately. Okay, you changed. Wow. Steph Richard, are you an electrician like what life is? My big question is, did you have to climb up a high ladder, Steph Richard? Because I know, like, in some of the churches around here, just to change the ladder, you got to go up a really high light and get one of those things to reach up and to get it out of the socket. Now, the big question, Steph Richard, what were you doing in Erie, Pennsylvania? Did you live there at the time, or I mean, it's none of my business, but are you originally from Oklahoma? Because I know a lot of people have gotten out of the East Coast and they've moved into the Midwest. The thing is, I would be a little concerned about the tornadoes out there, though. I don't even know how many people are watching me because I don't have the YouTube window open. Let me just see here. Damn, when I'm on stream mode, that's about all I can do is just stay on this channel. I was on a little longer than I thought. What life? I think Prepping 101 is going to go live Friday. Okay, it's to the point where it's like I'm not sure everybody knows what they're doing and when they're going to do a live show. I think I'm going to end it here in a minute. I'd like to thank everybody for coming up here, because like I'm kind of an unknown on YouTube. I don't have the biggest following. I like talking to people after my wife goes to bed. If you have any more questions, make a comment, on about the video, after the show's over. Okay, thanks everybody for showing up. Everybody have a good night. God bless everyone, and who knows what we can expect our great president to do tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Thanks.